Folks, if an offer is not in writing, that offer does not exist. I'm going to get into that and your latest home prices and insights for the City of Toronto for week ending August 23rd. So we were speaking to someone recently who was interested in selling their home, and when they were explaining to us their situation, they explained to us something that happens all the time. We hear it all the time, and that was his neighbor had approached him a couple of years ago and had told him that he wanted some family to move closer to him, and so if they were ever considering selling their home, he wanted to be the first to know. So at the beginning of this year, this person had gone to his neighbor and let him know, okay, listen, we're planning on selling the house. Do you want to buy it still? Neighbor said yes. They agreed on a price, and the only condition was the neighbor wanted the closing date to be sometime in July just to be able to organize his finances. Now, the person that we were speaking to was fine with that, and the neighbor had also told him, you know what, the paperwork, we'll get it done closer to closing, but it'll be sometime in July that we'll close. They shook hands. Apparently that solidified the deal, and the person that we were speaking to thought they had, their home sold. It was that easy. So now, as you can probably imagine, July came and went, no deal happened. Neighbor came up with 1,000 different excuses as to why he couldn't buy the home. And now these people that need to sell are in a situation where their house is now worth less than it was back in January because the market has been declining, and they're up against tons of inventory in their area. So, moral of the story, get it in writing. Whatever it is, get it in writing. That's the only way you can have proper recourse. Get it in writing. Let's get into the numbers. If you're looking for a unique multifamily home in the City of Toronto, stay tuned till the end of this video. But for now, let's get into the numbers. So here we have the City of Toronto, the 4 home types broken down. You have detached, semis, towns, condos for the past 3 months. Now let's get into detached a bit more. We're sitting at an average sold price of $1,571,000. We did 112 sales of detached homes last week, and 17 of those came at $2 million or more. Now comparing it to the same time last year, we're 4% lower in average sold price than we were at this time last year, selling roughly about the same amount of properties at $2 million or more. Here we have average sold price, median price. We can see that they were trending downwards, and now it seems like they've kind of tapered off and they're pretty balanced. It's going to be interesting to see where those numbers go in the future. Here we have sales, as I said, 112 sales, on par with what we did at this time last year. The interesting thing to note is the 52 sold at list price or more. It's a drastic difference from where we were last year at 27%. So half of the properties now are selling at list price or more, versus last year at this time were 27%, so a quarter of them were selling at list price or more. Here we can see active listings slowly trending upwards. Again, we listed 242 detached homes in the City of Toronto, and we've been on par with what we did last year, but active listings climbing and sales not growing means months of inventory gets affected. You can see here we're sitting at 2.8 months of inventory, and just 3 months ago we were just below half of that, or just above half of that at 1.5 months of inventory. Average days on market is sitting at 17. Definitely feels like more of a balanced market when you're looking at certain properties. Certain properties are still going very fast, but a lot of other properties you can take time when deciding. Here's the breakdown, different cities. We can see Scarborough has 2.6 months of inventory, although 66% of those properties are selling at list price or more. 1.8 months of inventory in Rexdale Downsview, 2.5 in Etobicoke, 2 in Weston Yorkdale, and 5.9 York Mills, Rosedale, Bayview Village. When months of inventory is that high, these particular areas happen to have homes that are in the $2 million plus range, so they tend to take a bit longer to sell, and they are on the market for longer. So semis sitting at an average sold price of $1,359,000, 28 sales, 9 of them sold at $1.5 million or more. And if you really look into the numbers, you can see that this average price was boosted up by the 9 sales that were on the higher end of what we sell for semis in that week. Now, again, if you follow what we saw with detached, we had average price and median price. They were trending down, and again, kind of flat for the past month. So going to be interesting to see what happens there. Now, we're sitting at 2.4 months of inventory. Average days on market is sitting at 12. We can see here that we were in the months of May, June. That's a pretty 0.8, 0.6, 0.7, pretty active market, pretty competitive market for semis in the city of Toronto. Now we're sitting at 2.4, but 68% of them, of the 28 sales, are sold at list price or more. So townhouses. Townhouses, only 5 sales. When sales are this low, it's very difficult to gather any real data. And because we have low sales fairly frequently, you see a lot of those peaks and valleys. So average sale price is sitting at $1,054,000. Again, hard to gather any real data when sales are this low, but this is the average sold price, median price with the 4-week moving average, and 6 months of inventory for townhouses in the city of Toronto. That puts it in a very aggressive buyer's market. Again, the low sales. Next week, that month of inventory could be very low if sales do climb up. We'll see. Now, condos. Condos, you can see, sales really started to taper off after May, and did 159 condos sold, condo units sold, and 22 of them sold at $1 million or more, with an average sold price of $748,000. Now, compared to last year, we have virtually no change. Average sold price last year was the same at $748,000, even though this year we sold 3 less units, condo units, at $1 million or more. Now, you can see here, average price, median price, slowly trending downwards. And sales, we sold less than we did last year this time, and sold at list price or more is 32%, which again, kind of similar to what it was last year at 28%. Now, this is the interesting slide for condos in the city of Toronto, because we can see in just 3 months, we went from an active listings of around 23 to 2,400 to 3,500. So that's a pretty dramatic increase in listings. And if listings keeps increasing as aggressively as it is, and sales don't pick up the pace, then we're going to see months of inventory is going to start to change. Usually that means prices start to change too. So we can see that here, months of inventory since week ending May 24th, it's gone from 1.9 to 5.2. Condos are currently sitting in what we believe is a buyer's market, and the average days on market is sitting at 24. So condos are sitting there for a while. Now, here's the breakdown. Months of inventory for detached homes, 2.8, 2.4 for semis. So not really in a buyer's market, but you are feeling like you're in a balanced market there. You can kind of take your time to make decisions on some of those properties. Towns, again, very difficult to get an idea of what's going on there just because of the low week of sales. But condos, definitely feeling like a buyer's market. There's a lot of inventory coming, and you can really take whatever time you need to make a decision on a lot of these condos because they are coming up very aggressively. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. Stay tuned for the unique multifamily home in the city of Toronto now.
Welcome to 4027 Bloor Street West in Etobicoke. Before I show you the inside of this home, let me tell you what makes it so unique. It has in all 8 bedrooms, 8 bathrooms. It has 9-foot and 10-foot ceilings. Each room has its own individual climate control. These are all luxury features you would expect from a custom-built home. But what really stands out in this home is that it was designed from the very beginning for 2 families to live separate and independent of each other, both above grade. Let me start by showing you the principal residence. So this is the principal residence. Including the finished basement, you have 5 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, about 3,000 square feet. So here's the finished basement. It has 10-foot ceilings, an entertainment area, 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and a private walk-up to the backyard. So this is the private, self-contained, luxurious secondary suite with 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms. Have a look.